What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I've actually been wanting to make a video about this for a minute now, but I figured after like the year two pass and all that, why not talk about it? I've also been seeing people talking about this in different comments and all that, and you know what? It made me ask a question. Could Motorfest mess up the crew's reputation or like the franchise's reputation? Now, I'm not saying right off the bat that, yeah, the entire game franchise is doomed because it's nothing like that, but I do feel like certain decisions and certain things that are happening with Motorfest are, well, they could actually have certain decisions that could mess up the future of the franchise a bit for a lot of players that are currently trying to enjoy Motorfest or they see things about it and they're like, yo, I don't like this or why are they doing that? Like, it just doesn't make sense. There is a few things I did want to touch on though. So, the first thing I have been noticing people talking about is going to be the bugs in the game. Now, we all do know right now that every single game nowadays probably tends to have some type of bugs to it, and we all do know normally they could probably take some time to fix. Like, I get it. Programming is not an easy thing to do, especially the lines of code and all that for something like that. It is probably a very weird small thing that's probably in hundreds of lines of it, and we all do know how long something like that could take to fix. And then once you actually fix that, it could then break something else. So it is definitely understandable. The thing is, though, if we're actually going to have bugs and all that, and they actually are going to come out in certain updates, we all do know Motorfest had its own issues when it did end up releasing. Some of the updates after that did end up breaking certain things, like we had playlist challenges broken, we had certain ones not showing the cars, vanity ones not working for like 5 or 6 months. We now had the other updates come out, and it seems that every update we get always breaks something else, which I think is a very bad trend to have in a game, though. We all do know players are like, yo, I can't wait for the update to fix this, and then that update comes out and it breaks something else. You have to wait another 4 months. I can't wait for this to get fixed, and an update comes out, and guess what happens? Another thing breaks. You have to wait 4 more months, and well, you probably see exactly where this is going. The thing is, though, having updates come out, guys, fixing all of the playlist challenges is great. Although I have heard some of them are apparently still broken. Do let me know on that in the comments below. But as y'all know, though, we did end up getting that big year 2 update, which everyone's like, yo, finally, every bug is going to be fixed. Here's the thing though, man, that actually did end up having something else broken for many people. Now, I did end up making a video about like the known issues, and you know what? It was affecting a lot more people than I thought it would. If you are wondering though, that's going to be the Chase Squad playlist in the Made in Japan Volume 2. Specifically with the photo ops in both of them, many players cannot even do them. The annoying part about this though is players want to 100% the playlist and they can't. A lot of new players might go, yo, let me get the Chase Squad. They can't even do the photo ops, man. Like, it just doesn't look that great. Plus, the Made in Japan Volume 2 also doesn't work for so many people. I think that's really annoying. The insane part is I was actually able to do every photo op for the most part in both playlists. So I was like, you know what? Let me make that video and see how many players are affected. Turns out, guys, on every platform, a lot of players are having issues with the photo ops. And I feel like people are really never going to have like the confidence and stuff, seeing how broken things always do happen after every update. Y'all see where I'm coming from? Like, a lot of players want to have confidence in it. Like, yo, no, I really do think they got this. I'm going to believe in it. Then we're going to get the update, and boom, something else breaks. So, what is that going to end up doing? Well, every time an update comes out, you're probably like, oh, yeah, this one's going to break some stuff, man. That's something everybody wants. It's going to break more stuff. Yay! What's going to break with this update? I wonder. More playlist challenges, some cars might break, some visuals, maybe a weird map bug. Who knows what is going to happen? Because we all do know the photo ops are going to get fixed, but what is going to break next? That is probably something everybody is thinking about. And we all do know when a game has a lot of bugs, a lot of players are like, you know what, this is probably never truly going to be fixed. And I feel like that is insanely sad to think about. But also at the same time, though, that can easily mess up the reputation of the crew. Because everyone knows when there is going to be another game coming out because, well, we all do know there's 100% another crew game in development. And when that does end up releasing a few years down the road, players are like, yo, this is probably going to have issues when it does end up releasing. I mean, look at Motorfest, look at the bugs it has. This game is probably going to have the same thing. And that right there, though, can easily play along the lines of, yo, this game's reputation might be hurt a bit because everybody's expecting that stuff. So yes, I would say that is probably going to play a role in the overall reputation of the franchise. Now, with that though, the other thing I did actually want to discuss for a second though is going to be the Gold and Ultimate Editions. Now, I do understand I did make a video about this, guys, but look, I've been seeing a lot more comments on this recently. Players have been going, wait a minute, so I actually have the regular Gold or Ultimate Edition, and now there's going to be another one? Well, I guess I'm never going to buy the next game, or I'm not going to buy the updates and all that, because that is absolutely ridiculous. And I have actually been seeing this pop up a lot, man. You know what? I have to admit it. I do understand where players are coming from, man. Like 120 bucks on something. That is a lot of money, especially for a game that you're like, yo, I really like it, and then boom, it goes on sale or something like a month later, or something else happens and they release a second one after you spent all the money on the biggest edition the game has, which, normally in the past, as I've mentioned before, that normally when you get the biggest edition of something, it should have everything in it, right? Well, no, not really, not anymore at least. But that right there, though, can easily mess up the reputation. Like when we actually have something like a gold edition come out again, which we all do know the next game is going to have a $120 edition again. Players are like, wait, why would I actually buy that if they're just going to release another one a year later? Y'all see where I'm coming from? Many players will probably just buy the actual base game itself and most likely never look at a gold or ultimate edition again. And the thing is, I really do feel like Ubisoft probably shouldn't have done that though. And the reason why I'm saying that though is I'm not saying this to like bash them. I'm saying this in the aspect of the actual fan or player base. We all do know players are seeing how the ultimate and gold edition stuff like that is handled, which is probably going to make players not buy the next one in the next game though, because they all do know that we're probably going to get a second one in that game or something. So why actually buy the base one if it doesn't really mean anything? Players are probably going to buy the regular base version of the game, which again is great, but why actually buy a bigger edition in a game if it's going to end up ending like that? I mean, I can't really blame players for being mad on that, man. It does make sense, especially coming from someone who actually bought the Ultimate Edition. I've been seeing a lot of people discussing that, like the Discord, on YouTube, on X, even Instagram saying, yo, I bought the Ultimate or Gold, so like, do I get everything with it? And no. No, you do not. You actually have a deluxe edition now, like you do have everything you bought, but now we're going to have a new Ultimate Edition that I just feel like is not a great decision, man. Something like that can easily mess up the future of the actual reputation of any franchise for that matter. Like, imagine for a second if another game did something like that. Imagine if Need for Speed had that, or you saw that in like another game by EA or something. It would get absolutely blasted, man. Like, it is kind of insane to think about when you actually really do look at it going, yo, if any other game actually did that, or I'm not saying just Ubisoft did it, but if any other game actually wants to do another Ultimate Edition after you buy the first one, guys, listen, do not do it, man. Like, just don't do that, please. I don't think it's a great idea for your fan base, for the players. People are not going to be very happy with something like this, and they are most likely not going to want to buy the next game or the updates, because what is going to be the use of buying the best edition if they don't get everything with it? There's also probably a lot of different factors that do most likely play into something like this, but here's the thing, I also think about the crew too. A lot of people might be like, well, what do you mean, Block? Well, here's the thing. Looking back to the updates in the crew 2 than looking at Motorfest, you could probably see a lot of differences there. We all do know the updates in that game were a lot bigger, which I did make a video on that. We'll be happy to leave a tag on the screen if you guys want to check it out. But we all do know the updates in that game were going to be bigger. Now, before anybody does say, well, we had the biggest update ever in Motorfest. That is true, we did get the map, but I'm talking about like a content or like new things added into the game from that standpoint. I do love the map, guys. Maui's absolutely incredible. The thing is, though, we do need to fill that map in. Like, I think it needs to be done really quick. The thing is, if we're actually going to be getting, let's say, 1 to 2 playlists every 4 months, think about that as being a maybe around, let's say, 10 to 15 new events every 4 months being added into Maui. Is that going to be enough, bro? Let's seriously think about that for a second. Like, I'm not hating on it. I do love the map, but we have to look at this from a real perspective. That's what I have to do. And I do feel like players are like, yo, no, add all kinds of stuff, add a bunch of races, get all the new stuff in there, get PvP in there, man. That all needs to be in the game. And I do feel like players have been waiting for this for legitimately months. We all do know PvP is something that really does need to get into the game. I actually laughed recently because we did have that huge update in Need for Speed, right? That brought all kinds of new events. We had a bike PvP playlist, man. Like, what? We don't even have that in Motorfest, man, and this game literally has bikes. Like, bro, what does that even... I just, I don't know. It really does make you think about this stuff because I'm looking at Motorfest going, yo, this game has so much dang potential, and I feel like at certain times that it is kind of being thrown under the bus a bit. Like, I do think they could do so much with it, and I really do hope that a lot of this stuff does turn around. We actually get some massive changes in year two, but again, that's going to be a huge waiting game. Is it going to happen? Is it not? Players by then are probably like, yo, this is going to be a lost cause. We want changes. We want different things added. Like, I do understand the new update's going to be dope, guys, but I have to say it. Watching around a month or so, players are probably going to be bored again, like it's most likely going to happen. We all do know the playlist is pretty cool, which is the next thing I did want to talk about, but that is going to be a $30 playlist, though. We all do know right now the base game itself in some areas is 15 bucks. You're going to get around, I think it's what, like 15, 16 playlists or something, and you're going to get that for around 20 to 30 bucks for all of that stuff. Then you're going to have to get a single playlist for around $30, man. Like, you all see where I'm coming from. I did actually talk about this a bit in like the year 2 pass video because I really do like giving the realist thoughts on this stuff. I love gaming. I have a passion for it. I love the crew. I love these games. I think they're great. But you also have to point out this stuff. That way players are not going to take that and go, okay, you know what? This is okay, let's keep doing that, when in reality it isn't, and if we keep following that path though, things can definitely get worse, which again, having a second gold or ultimate edition is not a good thing. Having a $30 playlist, guys, like I did enjoy Chase Squad, but we can all agree once again, $15 should have been the price of it. That is also probably going to be why only 59,000 people have completed the actual playlist events itself. Like, that's not that great of a number, especially for a big update in a game that players wanted. Most people are probably in the game just playing on the map, so that's going to be one thing there. And with that though, if they actually aren't getting a lot of money from these updates, how can they update the game more in the future? All of that is going to play in together, like it's something to really think about. And I do feel like all that stuff, like for example the year 1 pass there, we all do know it came with 25 cars, only 2 vehicles are exclusive to it. That is something players are like, yo, why did I even buy this, man? Now, if you actually wanted those 2 cars, then sure, yeah, you're going to have to buy the pass. But if you didn't, though, you can get every other car without even paying for it. I'm just going to wait for this car to come out, man. Why am I going to buy this for some police cars? I don't want those. And that is probably exactly what did end up happening. The other thing I did actually want to discuss, though, I did also want to ask everybody this, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. What do you guys actually think about the initial updates we got in year 1 of Motorfest compared to the Crew 2? Like, do you see like the Crew 2 actually having better updates back then? For me personally, when going over that stuff and doing that video, I was actually really impressed with what every update in that game had. There was like new classes, all kinds of new races, new things to be added into the game. Like, it was so cool, man. And all those new type of events, well, guess what? Those were going to be in regular PvP races where you can use your own classes in them. You also had all kinds of summits with the craziest mix-up of events ever. It really did make the game so dang fun. And I have discussed this in other videos. I've also been discussing this on Discord with people and stuff like that. But that's like the biggest thing for me though, man. We really just need more events in the game to go with different classes. That would make it so much better. And also, if you guys actually wanted to really make the overall experience in this game better, it could be done really easy. Now, I'm talking to like Ivory Tower Ubisoft here. All you guys have to do is actually, you know what? See all the playlists in the game right now, put those into PvP, man. I do know something what's funny about this is Need for Speed Unbound has something similar. It's going to have the races in different areas to where you did the races in single player, but on multiplayer, you can go through all of them with different classes. They're set up for those classes, and boom. Make it so you can actually go through like an entire playlist on PvP. That would be so dang fun. Make it so you actually have to use that said PvP class, like you can't run how grand races are, they're randomized. No, you have to use tier 2 or racing. You have to use a hypercar rally raid. Like, that would be so dope. And again, this is something I feel like players have been asking for legitimately a year now. This is probably going to make players go, well, I guess they're really not listening to the fans. Like, we keep asking for this stuff and they're not doing it. Are they really listening to our feedback? And boom, guess what that's going to do? It is going to end up messing up the overall reputation of the franchise. Because people are like, yo, they're not listening to what we want. They don't care, man. The next game is probably still going to be missing stuff we actually want. That is why listening to the actual community and players is so dang important. Do let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Do you actually think Motorfest, or the way this game has been handled in certain aspects, or even like the recent year of the game, could it hurt the actual franchise's reputation? Do let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm really curious to know what everybody thinks about this.